Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Biggieshaq had done a video where he was tagging people to show their top 50 comics in their collections. And I've done this before where I've shown my top 50 books in my collection. And a lot of the time, I just don't want it to be repetitive because it's the same 50 books and it gets kind of repetitive. So I kind of wanted to show a little bit of something new, something a little different, little like still top 50, but a different way of showing it. Not just my favorite books, but favorite based on categories. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I have 5 categories where I've divided my books into these 5 categories, and I'm going to be actually showing maybe there should be only 10 books in each category, which would equal 50, right? 5 times 10. But I might show a few extras in each category. And the categories will be cartoon books, cartoon related comics. And then the next one will be horror, Precode Horror specifically. And then SOTI, Seduction of Innocent books. And then I will be showing my good girl, some of my favorite good girl art covers. And finally, I will show my top 10 most expensive comics. So you still get within my top 50, my top 10 most expensive comics, and that'll be at the very end of the video. So that's how I'm going to break it down. I hope that makes sense. I figure this way I'll show some different stuff than I normally do, and you'll get to see some of the depth of my collection in terms of how much cool things are in this collection. It's ever expanding. So the very first category, as I said, was cartoon. And I'm going to show 2 books right off the bat, which are really considered one, okay? And I'll explain that. So the 2 books are United Comics number 21. And the second book is Tip Top Comics 173. Now, what is the significance of these 2 books? Well, they both contain the very first appearance of the Peanuts, Snoopy and all those characters, Charlie Brown, Lucy and Nancy and all those characters. So this is their first appearance, was in these books. It's not on the cover, but they were inside, and it is their first appearance. Both books came out at the same time. This Tip Top 173 came out a little earlier, so it is, in my mind, it came out 2 weeks earlier. But they both came out the same month, and yeah, so this is my first one. So this is my first cartoon one. And next one, I'm just going to grab a bunch here so I can show them. Next one is one that's in a little bit rough shape, so forgive the condition. This is Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 1. So this is kind of the big book for Walt Disney. It's a very rare book, strangely enough. Very hard to find in any grade. These Walt Disney books were, basically put in the hands of kids, and yeah, as a result, they didn't really survive very well. But this is also the first appearance of Daisy Duck. In it, she's referred to as Donna Duck. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I think Donna is like kind of a work on Donald. It's like the female version of Donald. And then another big book is Looney Tunes comics. And this is number 1, with the first appearance of Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, and so many of the Looney Tunes characters. So just a really great book. So yeah, Looney Tunes number 1. And next in my comic one, this is kind of an interesting one. This is a really great cartoon related one. This is Super Duck number 1, but it's also a Hitler. See, you got Hitler there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to. And then you got Toto. What is it? Hirohito. Yeah. So Tojo is what they refer to him as. So yeah, just a really great cover. I really like this. Super Duck #1. And the last raw one is Terry Toons. So this is Terry Toons 38, and it's the first appearance of Mighty Mouse. It's kind of a cool book. Mine's in reasonable condition. So yeah, so this is Terry Toons number 38, first appearance of Mighty Mouse. And then we get into 4-color 178, and I'm trying to, sorry for the glare, these Mylars have a bit of glare to them. This is the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge. Big book, really enjoy Uncle Scrooge, so I had to have this on my list for my top 50. So this is Uncle Scrooge, first appearance. So one sec here, I gotta make sure I might have brought extras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, I won't show that one. And then we got Scooby-Doo, #1. This is the first real appearance of Scooby and the gang. Scooby, Shaggy, Daphne, and Velma. And yeah, just a really great book. I really like Scooby-Doo. It's from 1970. So this is a really hard book to find, actually, strangely enough. And then, more modern, Bone. I love Bone. Bone is such a great book. This is Bone #1 by Jeff Smith in the first print. So very hard to find, very rare book. Just a really great classic cartoon related book. And you got a nice back as well with a little panel. So yeah, and this is the first appearance of these 3 characters: Phone Bone, Smiley, and what's the other one? Phone Bone, Phony Bone. That's what I was trying to remember his name. And also first appearance of Ted as well. He's like a little, I don't know, cicada or something, like a little bug. I don't know. And so that's Bone. Okay. And then, okay, I actually could have shown that one. Okay, wait, I'm going to show the other one. I did count right. Okay, I wasn't sure if I had counted right. So another book. So I'm going to show 12 in this 10 group. So this is Flintstones. This is actually not Flintstones #1, but it is considered Flintstones #1. It's Del Giant 48. And this is the first appearance of the Flintstones. You got all the major characters. Both Bam Bam and Pebbles appeared later, so they weren't in this book. But I also have their first appearances as well. I just really like the Flintstones. I grew up always watching it when it was, it just would play on reruns on the channels that I'd watch. So I watched the Flintstones a lot. I watched too much TV as a kid, actually. So Flintstones, really great, prehistoric family. So that's Del Giant 48 from 1961. And the last one, which is really 2, is Little Dot #1. This is the first appearance of Richie Rich, a character that I really love. And this is from 1953. And it's also the first appearance of Little Lotta. Little Lotta. Why am I saying Lotta? Little Lotta. So yeah, just a really great, first appearance of Richie Rich. And if you have the first appearance of Richie Rich, you have to have the first Richie Rich. So so it's a set for me. This is Richie Rich. Actually, I'll take this one out of the plastic because I want to show it a bit better. It's such a great one. Really great yellow cover. Really hard to get this book. I don't know why it's such a rare book, but it is really hard to find. And it's hard to find in any grade. This is a 3.0, but it's a very nice showing 3.0. So this is Richie Rich #1. Very first Richie Rich title. Title series, I should say. Okay, and then I said I would do my actually, I'll do my SOTI next. I'll do my SOTI books. I'm sort of cheating because some of my SOTI books, I'm trying to get some of my good girl art because I like good girl art. Um, so this is Clarisse Archer. It's actually a good girl art cover. And the reason it was in the Seduction of Innocent is because of it's a headlight cover. And if you're not familiar with what a headlight cover is referring to the fact that the breasts on the girl were kind of flashing, I guess. So yeah, so this is Clarisse Archer, #1. And it was in the Seduction of Innocent because of the fact that it is a headlight cover. And then we got Crime Reporter #2. This is a Matt Baker cover, and it's just a really great, like, it's got this girl, in lingerie. She's getting shot in the hand. It's just like such a crazy cover. I really like this one. This is Crime Reporter #2. Very hard book to find again. Really, really had to search for that one. Every time, like, I actually lost so many times at auction trying to get that book. This next one is a little bit, probably one of the more affordable ones on this list of 50 I'm showing, but it's one that I really like. This is Crime Smashers #1. This is the first appearance of Sally the Sleuth, but it was also in her story within this that there's like a dead body that they find, and it's because of that dead body that's sort of like strewn out on the ground that Frederick Wortham mentioned it in the Seduction of the Innocent. So just kind of gruesome death, I guess, was kind of the issue that he had with it. So this is Crime Smashers #1. So great book. And then we got another really great one. This is a Jack Kamen cover. This is Blue Beetle #54. Another one that was mentioned in the Seduction of the Innocent because of the cover. It's actually one of those few books where it's in the Seduction of the Innocent, where it shows in the in the illustrations where you can actually see the cover, because he was so shocked by how disturbing this cover is, that you have this half-dressed woman, get this serial killer guy coming in, just it was shocking to him. So this is Blue Beetle #54. And then we got really great. See, I'm trying to get all my good girl art inside of my Seduction Innocent. So this is like really great good girl art cover. This is another Matt Baker cover, actually. This is Phantom Lady 16, and just another one of these really great covers that was mentioned in Seduction Innocent. So Phantom Lady 16, really great. That's not her on the cover, but this is her down here, actually. So, but it is a cool cover. And then, again, some more good girl art. This is Women Outlaws #1, and it's another one that was mentioned in the Seduction of Innocent. That was for the the fact that women behaving badly, I guess. He just didn't like that. So, so this is Women Outlaws #1. And another great one, I love this one, is Reform Schoolgirl. It's just such a great, and this one is another one that's inside the book where it's a photo of the book of the comic being illustrated. So this is Reform Schoolgirl, and it's just such a classic book, and it's mentioned just because of the the kind of like corruption of the youth kind of idea. Then we got one of my pedigree books. This is Crime Detective #8, or sorry, #9, #9. And this actually has Frederick Wortham on the cover. That's Frederick Wortham. And a little letter to Frederick Wortham, which I think is really great. This is actually the highest graded book on the census. And it is also a promise collection. So just a really, and there's less than 10 of these on the census. So really rare book, highest graded copy, and just a really great piece to have from the Seduction of Innocent. So this is one of my favorite books. And again, more good girl art. I actually really like this book. This is actually another fairly affordable book. This is a Jungle Comics number 98, and it's just it's an interesting one. I like it for the reason it's in the Seduction of Innocent, and the reason it's in the Seduction of Innocent is the shoulder on the guy inside one of the inside panels. They think it looks like a woman's private part. So Wortham thought that what they were doing was putting subliminal messages inside of comics to corrupt youth. So I thought that was just such a great story behind it. And there's some other books that supposedly do have that, where they suggest things. So this is a Jungle Comics number 98. And last, for my Seduction of Innocent books, this is Crimes by Women, number 3. And it's just a great good girl hardcover again. And, you know, again, women behaving badly is the reason it was mentioned in the Seduction of Innocent. And it's just a great crime. I just really like the cover, actually. Just a really great cover. So I really enjoy this book. So that was my Seduction of Innocent books. So the next is my Precode Horror. So I've shown, so this is like we're into the 30, last 30, I guess. So we're getting into, this is a really great one. Terrifying Tales. It's like one of the things that people look for in Precode Horror is devil covers, and also famous artists. So this is an L.B. Cole cover. It's a devil cover, and it's just, and it's also a good girl cover and bondage. You got it all. It's just such a great cover. I really like this one. Terrifying Tales number 13. Nice lucky 13 for Precode Horror too. So I really like this book. Really great cover. There's so many things. I'm not sure if you can see the people in the background too. They're like these, you know, African tribal people. So I think that's kind of cool. Okay. And then some more kind of cool books. Some of these are actually going to be SOTI books because I want to get as much impact in each group as possible. But this one is one that is a really great cover. This is Red Seal number 14. And this is, you know, you got the girl, you know, girl in the red dress, hero running in, you got the hypodermic needle, you got skulls. It's just got everything. This is just such a great cover. I really like this book. This is a highly sought after book, actually. This is Red Seal number 14. Just a really great cover. So this is, yeah, just one I really like. Just think it's really great. I'm not sure who did the art for it, but it is a really great cover. Okay, I'll put it there. And then we got, actually, this is a book where I'm trying to get the complete series for it. I'm trying to get the complete series. It's a really hard series and a very expensive series to get all the covers from it, or comics from it. This is Mr. Mystery number 2. This is like a classic, you know, monster in the subway kind of cover. And you see the guy at the bottom getting eaten by this monster. And just, you know, just a really great, really great book. Yeah, I really enjoy that one. So that's Mr. Mystery number 2. And this one's actually a Seduction of Innocent, but it's also Precode Horror. This is Crime Suspense Stories number 20. Just a classic, like a crazy Precode Horror cover with a hang guy with a broken neck. You can see that his neck's broken. It's a hanging cover. So anytime you have a hanging cover, it's like a classic cover. And this is Johnny Craig is the artist. Just another fundamental, like just an awesome artist from the Golden Age. And EC Comics are kind of like the Precode Horror like company. They just produced so many comics, and they were the big player back in the Golden Age. They are the ones that really brought Precode Horror to the limelight. So I had to have both a Seduction of Innocent, Precode Horror, hanging cover, just, so many things going for this book. Okay, another EC book, another SOTI book as well, is Haunt of Fear, number 17, I believe. 17. I'm always amazed when I remember the numbers because there's so many to remember. But this is another Johnny Craig, and it's a really great book because it is the first it's the origin story for all the different story narrators for the different EC lines. So you got the Haunt of Fear narrator, which is the old witch, or something witch. I don't know. The Crypt Keeper and all those ones are all in here. I'm trying to remember all the different narrators for EC Comics. But this is just such a great book to have because it's their origin, and it's also a book from the Seduction of Innocent. So this is Haunt of Fear, number 17. And another series that I really love, and this is a Good Girl art cover, headlight cover as well. Just so many things going for this. It's a skull cover. This is Eerie Comics number 17. And it's also the last issue of the run. So Eerie Comics didn't run very long, but it had so many great covers. And like so many great artists involved. So like Wally Wood and like just so many great artists. So this is Eerie number 17. It's the last of the run. Okay, and then I'm going to take the paint out of the plastic. Sorry, I had to count, making sure I don't show too many. Okay, so this is Ghost Comics, another great series. This is a Maurice Whitman cover, and this is Ghost number 2. It's actually my favorite from the run. Most people like number 6 better. I actually have the complete run, but I chose this one because I actually like this one better. I like the lingerie. I like the Good Girl art cover. I like, all the Maurice Whitman covers. I like the little fairies falling down that are just like, figments of her dream. And then I like this guy who's kind of almost like a puppet master and kind of controlling her nightmares. So I just think it's such a great cover and just very sexy cover as well. So this is Ghost Comics number 2. Okay. And I just worry that I'm showing too many. Okay, so wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yep. Okay, worked out. Okay, I did count right. I was worried. I don't trust myself. This is a kind of a sci-fi, but also Precode Horror. This is Weird Science, number 16. This one is the one that has inspired Mars Attacks, and it's a Wally Wood cover. Just a really great book. I've shown this one many times, but I love it. It's one of my favorite EC comics of all time. So always have to show it on my list. If I'm going to show my top 50, it has to be there because it's one of my favorite books. I just really love this book. So Weird Science number 16. And that's from EC Comics. And it's a Wally Wood cover. And then another one I gotta take out of the bag. We got Punch Comics. And this is Punch Comics number 13. Another series that I'm trying to get the complete run. I have about 5 or 6 of these books now from Punch series. Really interesting series. They're all over the place. Sometimes they're Good Girl, sometimes they're cartoons, sometimes they're like superheroes, sometimes they're horror. It's all over the place with Punch. But I really like Punch Comics. I think they're interesting. This one is especially cool because it's got the skull hand and she's getting dropped into the grave. And all the people involved with creating the book are on the tombstones. Just so many cool things that just make this book kind of one that I really love. So this is Punch Comics number 13. And I like it when Precode Horror books are 13s. That whole trichodecaphobia thing, which is the fear of the 13. So I think that's really cool. So yeah, Punch Comics number 13. And last but not least, one more EC book. This is Shock Suspense Stories number 6. This is another, I believe it's Wally Wood cover. Yeah, Wally Wood cover. And just a really classic cover. You got the hooded figure guys. You know, what are they going to do to this woman in bondage? You know, it's just good girl art, bondage, crazy hooded figures. You know, it's got all the classic elements to Precode Horror. So this is Shock Suspense Stories number 6. So that's my Precode Horror top 10. Then we get into good girl art. So if you like good girl art, you're definitely gonna like this section. So I'm gonna start with my raw books. Right off the bat, I love this character. So this had to be on my list. This is Nomura, number 1. This is a Ken Ball cover. Just a really great character, and I just really like this cover. I just think it's a great cover. So this is Nomura, you know, beauty of the sea beauty, Nomura. So hopefully she'll be in the next Black Panther movie with Namor. So that'd be kind of cool if she is. I don't know if she'll be there, but but maybe. Another great good girl art cover. This is a headlight cover too. This is Phantom Lady 14, I believe, and it's in low grade, but the cover at least displays really well. And this is again Matt Baker art. Just a really great cover. One of my favorite, actually, this one and 17 are my 2 favorites from the Phantom Lady run. I just really like this cover. I think it's really great. When I was a kid, I would go sailing a lot. So this has got that sailing theme to it as well. I used to race boats probably for about 20, 30 years. So I really like sailing. So I like the fact that it has a bit of nautical theme to it. So that's Phantom Lady, number 14, I believe. Next one is one that I just really love. This is one of my first good girl art covers too. This is Ginger number 1. I just thought it was it's just something charming about it. I like a lot of these Archie books for the good girl art, and this one is no exception. It's just another great good girl art cover. I just like the little hearts and stuff. It's just so cute. And like the 50s sweater style. So that's Ginger number 1. And okay. Now I always have to have this character whenever I show good girl art. So this is America's Best Comics, number 23, and it just is a really great cover for Miss Mask. I just really like this cover. You got all the guys kind of fawning over her, you know, sort of giving her the, you know, the beauty contest prizes and stuff. I just think that's really wonderful. And I really like this character. So this is America's Best Comics number 23. And more Archie. I've shown this book many times as well. This is Archie number 50 with a nice Betty good girl art cover. Probably this is, in my opinion, the best good girl art cover from the entire Archie run. Is considered the grail of the good girl art covers for Archie. And it's a Bob Montana cover from 1951. Really great. This is Archie number 50. And then we get, so one of the greatest artists for good girl art was Alex Schomburg. And this is one of my favorite Alex Schomburg covers. This is Wonder Comics number 15. And I just like it because it's got, you know, it's got the good girl art cover in bondage. Actually, let me take it out of the plastic. I really want to show this one as well as I can. But I'll take it out of the plastic for you so you can really see it, because it was hard to see. But just a really great cover. This one's in a high grade. Too bad it's restored. It really kills the value. But it is such a great cover. So you got, her in bondage, the hero running in to try to save her, and she's getting sliced, and they're miniature. I like the fact that it's like they're miniature as well. Or maybe he's a giant, I'm not sure. She's under like a microscope. So just a really great Good Girl art cover, airbrush cover by Alex Schomburg. These Wonder Comics had a lot of really great covers. That one actually I got from Keston, from Keston's Old School Comics. He was the one that sold that to me. But a really great, as I said, one of my favorite Alex Schomburg covers. And can't have a Good Girl art covers without having Planet Comics. So I really like these ones where it's the women in like sort of like little capsule things. Get again the hero coming in to rescue them. This cover is by Joe Doolin. It's Planet Comics number 56. Really great cover. The only problem with a lot of these Planet covers, their colors kind of fade a bit. So this one is a little bit faded, but it's still a really great cover. So yeah. Next, another character that I really love. Torchy. This is Torchy number 1. This is actually the first cover appearance as well of Torchy. She actually made her first appearance in Dollman number 8, another book I have, but I prefer to show the Good Girl art. So this is just a really great cover. This is Gil Fox, I believe, did the art. Yes, Gil Fox. She was actually created by Eric Ward, but he didn't do the cover for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah, so this is Torchy number 1 from 1949. And some of my favorite Good Girl art is by this artist, Al Falstein. And this is Junior. Now, there was actually a bunch of series, and I was actually really struggling when I was creating just this top list of books for my top 10 of my top 50 because there were so many great covers for Good Girl art covers, and most of them are from Al Falstein. He did a series called Junior, and he did a series called Sunny, and he did everything for them. He did all the covers, the interior art, the story writing, everything. And they're just amazing covers. They all are these kind of headlight covers, very suggestive covers, lingerie panels, and everything. Just lots of really great art, not just on the exterior, but in the interior as well. Because it was, same kind of art level on the inside as well. So this is Junior number 16. So yeah, it's the last issue from the run. So Junior number 16. And last but not least, I'm going to show you my favorite sci-fi Good Girl art cover. So this is Amazing Adventures number 4. I think this is one of the best sci-fi covers of all time in terms of Good Girl art. I just really love it. The romantic robot thing, and just the woman just very well rendered. I think it's just such a great cover, and I like this little crazy alien dude up with this this weird machine. Just really great cover. So this is who did the cover? Alan Anderson cover. Just a beautiful cover. I think it's just it's a painted cover. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, so that's my 10 Good Girl art covers. So we've done the top 40, only 10 more to go, and then I'll wrap this video up. And these are in order. So the other ones weren't in order. They weren't it wasn't like when I showed the first book that was my least favorite or anything like that. They weren't in order. But these books, these last top 10, really, I did put them in order, but basically based on price. And the first book, I've shown this book a lot because it's one of my favorite books. This is Sensation Comics #1. And this is the first cover appearance of Wonder Woman. Really great book. It's also the first appearance of Wildcat and Mr. Terrific. Just a really great book. I love this book. I can't say enough about it because it's just such a great book. Really happy to have this in my collection. You know, this is just such a fundamental, awesome book to have. So this is from 1942, Sensation Comics #1. So that's that's number 10 on my list for most expensive comics. The next one is Amazing Spider-Man #1. This could actually be worth more if it wasn't for the fact that it is restored. But it is, it is what it is. Still a valuable comic, even despite the fact that it's restored. So this is just a really great book. This is the first, first series for Spider-Man. Classic cover, a crossover with the Fantastic Four as well. So just a whole bunch of cool things going on from this book. It's also the first appearance of Jamie Jameson. And just a really great book. I really like that book. Okay, that's number 9. And another book that's restored is Journey into Mystery #83. Just a really great book. First appearance of Thor. Just a really wonderful book. I love this book too. I was super excited to get this one in my collection. So, yeah. And then we get Wonder Woman #1. And this is in a 7.5. Nice high grade. Again, restored though. So that really kills the value. But just a really classic cover. This is, the classic going into the no man's land, jumping onto, the horses jumping onto the Nazis with their machine guns and everything. It's just really awesome. The funny thing about this, I always thought this was kind of funny. I never mentioned this before, but I always thought this was kind of funny. Because sure, Wonder Woman can kind of block and dodge all the bullets and stuff, but how does the horse, how does it do it? These guys are shooting machine guns. She'd be, the horse would be like Swiss cheese. So yeah, I always thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, so this is Wonder Woman #1. Again, another book that I love. This is kind of to me, there's 3 books that are kind of the grails for Wonder Woman. This is the second. I showed one. This is the second one. And the third one's coming up. But the next book that's really expensive is Fantastic Four #1. This is the book that really put Marvel on the map in terms of, making it go beyond Detective Comics, or DC Comics, I should say. Because this is the one that really launched their whole superhero franchise. I know that they had stuff in the Golden Age. I can see people commenting that I don't know that, but I do know that. But this is really the book that kind of marked their entry into the Silver Age, really put Marvel on the map, in my opinion. So this is Fantastic Four #1, and it's the first appearance of the Fantastic Four, and the new version of Johnny Torch, or the Human Torch, I should say. Yeah, so just a really great book. So, yeah. And then another great book from Marvel is The Incredible Hulk #1. And this is a really hard book to find as well. Just not an easy book to get. So this is Incredible Hulk #1. It's not restored or anything, which is nice. It's in a lower grade, 2.0, but just a really great book to have. Classic cover as well. So first appearance of the Hulk. And then we get those were Marvel big books. Well, we got to have a DC big book. This is Showcase #4, first appearance of Barry Allen. And this is kind of the Silver Age book. To me, this is the book that kind of started the Silver Age for DC. It is one of those, another classic cover. Joe Infantino, I believe. Or where does it say? Cover art by Joe Kubert and Carmen Infantino. See, I put their two names together. Carmen Infantino and Joe Kubert. So yeah, I put their names together, strangely. Okay, so this is Showcase. Actually, I'll take it out of the plastic. Getting for the last few books. I might as well show it properly. Showcase number 4. I almost bought a few other copies of this book. It's a really hard book to find, but this was the one that presented the best. It's still a low grade. It's like a 2.0, but it's not restored or anything. It's just a solid book, and the cover really displays nicely. So I really like this book. Okay, and then we get Amazing Fantasy. This is another big book. This is Spider-Man's first appearance. So Amazing Fantasy 15, 1962. Just another book that really, was one of those books that kind of started pushing, Marvel into the forefront. Spider-Man is just one of those classic characters for Marvel. Probably one of the, I would say one of the top 2 characters of all time for comics. Either Batman, Superman, or or Spider-Man. Those 3 would be the ones that everyone knows. So this is Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man. And that made number 3 on my list. It's most expensive books. Number 2 is Tales of Suspense. So this is just a first appearance of Iron Man. Just a really great book. I like the fact that it shows him making the suit on the cover. I just think it's so cool. That to me, that was in the movie when the very first Iron Man movie. That was the scene where you first see him after he's working hard to build this really great suit of armor, and then you see the reveal, and it's like, oh my goodness, what is that? It's just like the most DIY do it yourself kind of suit ever made. It's just like really pathetic looking, but it was a really great reveal. I really enjoyed that movie. So this is Tales of Suspense number 39, first appearance of Iron Man. And this book, even though Iron Man has kind of been killed off, this book still has been climbing lately. It's kind of weird. Just a character that everybody loves, I guess. It's just, it is what it is. And my last book, my last of the top 50. You've made it this far. You want to see the number 1 book? Well, the number 1 book is All-Star number 8. This is the first appearance of Wonder Woman. It is the book. It is the grail for Wonder Woman because it's her first appearance. And this is the grail for my collection. This is my most expensive book. Is just a book that is awesome to have because it's Wonder Woman's first appearance. So this has been my top 50. I hope you enjoyed my entry. I'd like to thank Biggie for doing this top 50 and tagging everybody on it. For all those people that I like to tag a whole bunch of people. Like Epoch is a guy that he's been doing a lot of my challenges. I like to tag Alex the Comic Quarter if he hasn't done it already. I'd like to see like Reggie Collects do something. There's so many channels that I think it'd be really cool to see what is their top 50. So if you have people that you want to be tagged and you want to see their collections, put it in the comments below so we can get them to make the videos as well. I was really late doing this game because I think he started this like a month ago. I'm late to the game, but I want to encourage it to continue on because I think I'd love to see what's in people's collections and see that top 50 books. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my kind of breakdown of 5 different top 10s really. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. Thanks. Bye.